Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Five Star Joshi Show here on the Fight Game Media Network, as well as the YouTube channel. I'm your host, as always, Scott E. Happy to be back. I think this is the final quiet week for us for a very long time. I've looked at the schedule, I've looked ahead. We got something big every single week after this one. So, let's enjoy the simpleness of this while we have it, okay? Because starting next week, we have a Stardom Korakuen review. The week after that's a Marigold Korakuen. The week after that's Stardom Sapporo, and then it's tournament season. We also have Summer Sun Princess coming up for TJPW. We have a Sendai Girls Korakuen show coming up as well. Lock in, folks. This is the best time of the year to be a Joshi fan. I'm excited. I hope you are too. I'm back. If you saw my video on YouTube already, I was very sick this week. Still am getting over it, but I am good enough to do this show in full force. So, thank you, everyone who continues to join me right here, whether it be on the MP3 podcast version, on the Fight Game Media Network feed, or the YouTube channel. It always means so much to me. So, since I'm still getting over this, we're going to get right to it. I'm not going to hold you. We're going to get right to the action here, and we're going to start where we always start, and that is the World Wonder Ring. The World Wonder Ring once again had a pretty busy week. Obviously, some big news stories to come. Obviously, they also have a big weekend ahead. New blood, the reveal of the 5-star Grand Prix participants, and of course, a Korakuen Hall show on Sunday. So much to talk about in the World Wonder Ring. So much to talk about when it comes to where we're going next. So I'm excited. I hope that you are too. Loved this past weekend of shows for the most part because a lot of it was Saya Kamitani and Natsupoi previewing what will be their world title match at the end of this month. Those two are magical in the ring, and we'll talk about it here a bit more in the next few minutes. But before we do that, we do have to go through the usual results as we always do. I know a lot of people don't always watch the house shows for Stardom. That's why I do it for you so that you know what you're missing and if it's worth going out of your way to see. That starts in Kochi this past Friday, uh, which included the first matchup between Syuri and Bozilla. But before we got there, the opening match was Hanan, Saida, and Momokogo defeating Natsuko Tora, Ruaka, and Azusa Naba. The unit had Saki Kashima defeat Azumi and Emma Maishima. Neo Genesis, Mei Sarah, Miyu Amasaki, Starlight Kid, they teamed up to defeat Kikyo Furusawa, Suriano, and Yuri Hime. Ami Sourei, Rana Yagami, and Tomoki Naba defeated EXV's Hanako, Rian, and Waka Tsukiyama. And like I said here, we got our first clue at Syuri versus Bozilla. We also got a face-to-face with Lady C and Bozilla to show that, hey, they're both tall. Fun fact for you. And, you know, this was the start of what ultimately has turned into Syuri's last full weekend for quite some time in Stardom. We'll talk about that here in a little bit when we get to her final match of the weekend. But the main takeaway from this is that Bozilla lost again. I know she's not getting pinned, but she went 0 for this weekend. She's yet to win. No Sue Suzuki being around is obviously part of that. But it's fascinating just to follow, I think. It's fascinating to see how the booking is going. I think each match you kind of show that Bozilla is dominant, but at the same time, I think there's an argument that she just kind of feels like she's there right now. And I don't know if that will change or not. I think she's going to be in the 5-star Grand Prix, but and that will force some sort of change. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know about you. I just feel like this is a weird way to go so far. And I'm trying to figure out what is the destination. I guess it's that New Japan Strong Women's title match between Bozilla and Azumi, but I guess we'll wait and see on that one because that match has not been teased since. So that's interesting. Then you had the main event, which I thought was quite good, easily the match of the show. It was Natsupoi, Yuna Mizumori, Aya Sakura, and Sayaka Karara facing off with Saya Kamitani, Momo Watanabe, Konami, and Rina of Hate. I think it was 2 weeks ago that I asked that if we could just put all the hate wrestlers that I enjoy the most into one match, I would make my life a lot easier, and they pretty much did that here, so I greatly appreciated it. Yeah, like I said, this match was quite entertaining, quite good. Hate got the win when Saya Kamitani pinned the Natsupoi, so didn't take long to get right into the fact that we are now trading wins, surely between these two. Um, this was also the show where a lot of the title challenges were officially accepted. So every title match that we are waiting seems to be on the way, but we know that the main event of Sapporo Rendezvous will be Saya Kamitani defending against Natsupoi for the World of Stardom Championship. Their work in this match, like I said, was fabulous. It's just impressive how great these two are, despite everything that's really gone on since the last major singles match they had, which was in 2022. Cinderella Journey, shouts out, go check it out. Natsupoi is like the ultimate challenger. I think a lot of people obviously look at Hazuki as that. But Natsupoi is the ultimate challenger because there's a believability that she can win. And there's also a believability that she could shock the world every time she steps into a title match. Winning the Wonder of Stardom Championship can do that for you, right? Believing that she could truly win that belt someday made her a great challenger. And now that she has, now it's chasing the World of Stardom Championship. There's few natural stories here than Natsupoi trying to redeem Tam Nakano, right? That is the obvious story I've been talking about for months. Other people have been talking about it for months, and now we are seeing it in full force. Saya Kamitani pinning Natsupoi, not a problem there. There was cheating and so on. There was one point in this match that Momo Watanabe absolutely wailed Aya Sakura in the face with that bat. I literally screamed watching it. I was like, oh my God. But yeah, this was quite the good match. If you're looking for one to watch from the Friday show, I definitely recommend this one. I think Natsupoi and Saya Kamitani are well on their way to something really awesome later this month. Then we continued the preview matches, heading over to Matsue on Saturday. This was the homecoming show for Saki Kashima. The show started off with Momokogo and Yuri Hime defeating EXV's Ryan and Waka Tsukiyama. Obviously important. Momokogo and Yuri Hime challenging for the New Blood Tag Team titles this Friday, so giving them some momentum as a duo. You then had Aya Sakura, Soriano, Yuta Mizumori defeat Bozilla, Akira Kuragane, and Kikyo Furusawa. See, that's a match I don't have a problem with them losing. Like, at the end of the day, it's two rookies. Like, you're not going to have them beat Aya, Sayori, and Yuta. But I do want to shout out Yuna real quick. I thought she just had an overall fantastic week. Obviously, dating back to the Osaka show we talked about last week, but I think she's just so good. Like, plain and simple, I think Yuna Mizumori is just so good and continues to get better and better in terms of performances. Right? She isn't someone who ever holds herself back. She isn't someone that ever really slows down. She has the high motor and she just keeps going and going and going. And I think that's what makes her stand out. It's very similar to Saida. They both have that similar setup that does a lot of good for them. Sayaka Kurara defeated Emma Maishima and Hanako in a three-way match. hates Azusa Naba, Momo Watanabe, Rina, and Konami, defeating Neo Genesis, Azumi, Meisera, Miyu Amasaki, and Starlight Kid. I will say this: I didn't get to talk about this because that was not accepted. We're still doing the Sayori. Well, we're not still doing. We are doing the fact that Sayori wants nothing to do with the Wonder of Stardom Championship. I don't love that. Um, I don't love it because it's kind of telling you, hey, this title doesn't mean much to me. The title that you held twice in your career. I don't know what the end goal here is besides an eventual title match. I'm sure we'll get it, but how do we get there? How do we change someone's mind like a Sayori Ano to be like, oh, you know what? I actually do want that belt because Starlight Kid's not a heel, Sayori Ano's not a heel. Where are we going? How do we get there? How do we make that match not only make sense now, but how do we make that match official? Right? That's now the conversation point for me when it comes to Starlight Kid and Soriano, a match that I'm well looking forward to, but a match that I don't fully grasp the understanding of why that's the angle. Um, Again, you want to make your championship feel important, and when someone's like, "Yeah, I'm good, thanks," it's like, Okay, sure." So that's something that I'm kind of waiting and seeing on. We'll see what the next steps are, but I'd like to be impressed by how we eventually get to what that title match is, unless it's all a ruse and it's still going to be Suzuki like we all expected. But I'm not counting on that. You then had the semi-main event, Natsuko Toruwaka and Saya Kamitani defeating Natsupoi, Hanan, and Saya Ida when I believe Ruaka pinned Hanan. I know the tag champs pin or the challengers pin the tag champ. Continued domination for Hate in the lead up to the title match. I don't think this jumped off the page as much as I was kind of hoping for going into it. I preferred the match the day before, but it was still pretty solid. If you want to go check out some more preview tags, which I'm a big fan of ultimately. I love preview tags, so I don't have a problem with it whatsoever. But that's up to you if you want to go check that out. And then we had the main event, which ultimately ended up being Saki Kashima, Lady C, Tomoki Inaba, and Rana Yagami teaming up to face Syuri, Hina, and Ami Sourei in the homecoming match for Saki Kashima. I thought this was really wonderful. Especially now that by the time I watched it, I obviously knew what was happening with Syuri. And I think that kind of kicked in the importance a little bit more, especially between Saki and Syuri and that relationship that has really been built over the past few years. The reactions of Saki being like, What do you mean Shuri's not on my team? What do you mean?" I thought that was a lot of fun. I thought that was entertaining. Um, I also think that when it comes to God's Eye, it's fascinating to think what this group is without Shuri because a lot of the reason this group still exists to begin with is Shuri. I think this group, for me, has never truly set in. And I was thinking about this while watching this match. And there's a lot of good wrestlers here. I'm not saying there isn't, but this group has never felt like it had a full identity. It was really just we'll follow wherever Shuri goes. And now when Shuri's not going to be here for a while, it's going to be like, what does this group look like without her? Shuri's been going, 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 going since August 2019. Like there has not been a stoppage in her schedule. So that's kind of the fascinating mindset here. But like I said, there's a lot of good wrestlers here. They'll figure it out. I'm not worried about that. It's more of a worry of not having Shuri just because I'm sad about it more than anything. Um, but we'll talk about that here a little more in a second. Ultimately, Shuri got the win, pinning Saki Kashima. So that shouldn't be much of a shock. But like I said, a really lovely match. A lot of comedic bits throughout the match. Some really good wrestling as well. And yeah, the match worth checking out from the second day of shows. And then, of course, you had the show in Okayama on Sunday, which featured a really, really good main event. But let's go through the results real quick. So Bozilla did finally win because Akira Kuragane is finally uh getting her future Stardom title match. I say finally, but she got a win in the build up to the match this coming Sunday at Korakuen Hall. So Bozilla did get a win. Um, as she's yet to pin someone though. I think that's the interesting part of this. But I think she's gonna probably change that at the Corkin on Sunday, which might be like what Stardom's kind of sees as her first true show, because more people watch the Corkins, more people watch that. So I think that's part of it too. Ami Sourei and Lady C defeated Mai Sarah and Emma Maishima. BMI 2000 defeated Hanan and Kikyo Furusawa, so the momentum continues there for them. Saki Kashima, Syuri, Toki Naba defeated Aya Sakura, Sayaka Kara, and Yuna Mizumori. Fun match, but ultimately what we learned was this match is the start of Syuri's hiatus. Syuri announced after the match in a shocker that she will be taking a break from Stardom, which has caused a stir because people originally thought it was an injury hiatus. She said she would go train overseas and then come back to Stardom stronger with the hopes of winning back the IWGP Women's Championship. Um, so the way I see this is that I think she's going to I think the announcement came now so that when the 5-star Grand Prix field's announced, she's obviously not going to be in it. The reaction would have been, come again? Huh? Why is she not here? So I think that's part of the reason the announcement came when it did. My mindset instantly went to, oh, she's going to go be part of the Forbidden Door build in America because she said she's going to go overseas. And she said she's going to deal with long-term injuries. So here's what I expect. I don't know anything on this. This is just all me on this one. I expect her to take some time off, maybe a month or so. And then once all in's over, once all that is over, you'll see Syuri turn up on Stardom, or sorry, AEW television in some sort, maybe challenge Tony Storm, maybe challenge Mercedes Moné, whoever's the world champion, and be the Forbidden Door title match. That's what I'm expecting. Which is really cool. I would love to see Syuri versus Mercedes Moné, especially. But there's no part of me that can be anything but a little bit devastated that Syuri's not going to be in the 5-star Grand Prix. I said this in my video, which I will promote here in a second, trying to predict the fields for the 5-star Grand Prix. But no Syuri, no Tam, no Mayu is a massive, massive, massive hit to the 5-star Grand Prix. I don't care how loaded the roster is. I don't care about it. Like, that is a massive hit because, in my opinion, the past 5 years have been carried by those three each and every tournament. Syuri has had the best tournament more than probably anyone over the past 5 years. 2021 was her tournament. 2022 was a year that I remember people saying she might have still had the best tournament. 2023 was also very good by her. Like, she had either the match of the tournament or the best tournament almost every single year since she's been in it. So obviously I am devastated that she is not going to be in it. It goes back to the conversations of how does Stardom view Syuri now, right? And obviously she won the IWGP Women's Championship, but I can't stress to you enough, like, that title win was very clearly to be transitional and nothing more. So what I'm hoping, because I am such a major, massive fan of Syuri, what I'm hoping is that this is the start of her ascent back to the top. She can go to America, wrestle a Mercedes or a Tony or a Athena or whoever they pick. I will welcome that with full arms while being devastated that she's not in the 5-star. I think both of those are very, very fair. But what I hope is when she returns, presumably after a Forbidden Door, September sometime, she's instantly going back for gold. She's going back for Syuri. Because as much as I'd love for her to face Saya Kamitani for the World of Stardom Championship, that doesn't seem to be the direction they want to take Syuri. She only talked about the IWGP Women's title. She only talked about taking back the IWGP Women's title. So that's where I'm going to go. That's where I'm going to assume. If she were the one to take the belt back from Syuri, I wouldn't have a problem with it. All I'm saying is Syuri deserves the world. I wish her the best on this hiatus, break, excursion, whatever it is. And I look forward to seeing what she does when she heads overseas. This is, like I said, still comfortably one of the best wrestlers in the world. So whatever she does, she is well worth you following, no matter where it may be. But I'm going to miss her so much in the 5-star Grand Prix because each and every year she is a genuine highlight, if not the best part of the tournament. Then you had your main event from this show in Okayama. It was Natsupoi, Aono, Azumi, Miyu Amasaki, and Starlight Kid defeating Saya Kamitani, Rina, Momo Watanabe, Konami, and Azusa Naba when Azumi got the flash pin Azumi Sushi on Konami. So that tells me a lot regarding the upcoming tag title match, which we'll talk about here in a second. But this match was really good. The best match of the weekend, I thought, from Stardom. I mean, look at the talent. Does it shock you? I don't think so. These are just so many incredible wrestlers going out there doing their thing. Neo Genesis main events are always great. Natsu and Sayori main events are always great. And these are all, I said it, give me all the hate members I want in one. This match had them all. And that was really fun. That was really fun. You got some Starlight Kid and Sayori team ups, which I found funny, considering we're doing the story with them. You got Natsupoi and Saya Kamitani. You got Starlight Kid and Rina. You got so much from this match. Just a great time, really, and well worth you checking out if you haven't. But that is it from this past weekend in the World Wonder Ring. Now we head over to New Blood starting this Friday, all available on YouTube. I never get to really fully review these shows because they're always weekdays and they're either Thursday or Friday, and just brutal timing for your boy. But it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We will talk about this to the best of our abilities next week. This card is pretty good considering it's most of Stardom's roster outside of one match. Anyways, let's start at the top. It'll be Rina versus Emma Maishima. I'm looking forward to that one. I look forward to most matches that Rina has, if not all. As you know, that is my favorite Stardom wrestler these days. So it comes with the territory. But hey, she's given so many rookies or young wrestlers their best match. So I don't have a reason to believe she can't do that with Emma here. This should be a fascinating singles match. It'll be Kyoko Kotatsu versus Kikyo Furusawa in singles action. I believe this is Kotatsu's second singles match since joining Stardom at the beginning of the year. I could be wrong, but I think it's her second. Maybe it's her third. Oh, it's her third. Did she ever face Konami one-on-one? I know she faced Aya Sakura one-on-one and beat her, and I wasn't happy about it. I don't know, but we haven't had many. I don't know what Kotatsu's future holds. She's the most confusing wrestler in Stardom when it comes to what are we doing. But this should be an interesting matchup, a interesting combination of skill sets as well. You'll have Rion teaming with Hanoka to take on Asuka Goda and Saran. That should be a fun little tag match. Hina, Rani Yagami, and Lady C team up to face Akira Kuragane, Aya Sakura, and Sayaka Kurara. If I don't get an Aya Sakura and Sayaka Kurara tag title challenge after this match in the main event, I'm going to be upset. Like, Young Kozen should be challenging for one of the two tag belts. What are we waiting for? Anyways, that's a tag match for a reason. It's a preview match for Hina and Akira, so that is what it is. And then you have your title match in the main event. Hanako and Waka Tsukiyama once again defend the tag belts. By the way, I've not really loved this reign, but it keeps on going. They'll challenge Momo Kogo and Yuri Hime. I have a tough time believing Yuri Hime gets the win here just because she's still so new. Be really cool if Momo Kogo got a title, but I'm still going to go with and still for Waka and Hanako here. So that's New Blood. Let's head over to the Korakuen Hall show now. But before we get there, on Saturday, Stardom will announce the fields for the 5-star Grand Prix. Obviously, very exciting. It'll be a very exciting press conference. I'm looking forward to it. But I did my best over on the YouTube channel. If you haven't seen it yet, I did my best to predict what the field will look like. 28 participants, 28 guesses. How many will I get right? How many will I get wrong? That's for you to go see. So please go over and check out that video. It was a lot of fun. I was really sick doing it, but it was a lot of fun because I have no clue. Some wrestlers had more reason than others to be in the tournament. Others were just like, oh, okay, these are layups. But in a year where, like I said, no Syuri, no Tam, no Mayu, no Mina, no Micah, there's a lot of opportunity open. There's a lot of opportunity open to be filled in. And I think that's what's most exciting. But please check out that video if you haven't. It's over on YouTube. Check it out before, preferably, so you can kind of get an idea. But hey, if you check it out after, you can tell me how wrong I am in the comments. So that's something to think about. But yeah, that is a video up over there. So please, please, please check that out. So this Sunday, Stardom returns to Korakuen Hall for kind of a big show. I mean, there's 2 title matches, so it's not a small show. And it's also the last match we have from Syuri before she heads on her hiatus. So that's notable. But this show features a lot. So let's get to it. The opening match will be Momo Kogo versus Kikyo Furusawa. I don't have that many thoughts regarding that. Should be a fun undercard match. You then have Ami Sourei, Lady C, and Kyoko Kotatsu taking on Itsuki Aoki, Bozilla, and the returning Suzu Suzuki. Mivita Loca will be getting the win there. This is kind of the, not the final stop to pushing them up, but another show missed by Rina Yamashita, by the way. I know she's missing because I think she's part of Sukeban, which is this weekend. I think she is. I think she's done it before. I could be wrong, but I feel like she did do it one year. And I don't know if she still does it, but that might be the reason. So it's fine. It's fine. Let me double check that. Yes, she's been part of Sukeban in 2023 and 2024. So I'm not crazy. So that might be the reason why. You then have a 10-woman tag. Saki Kashima, Yuna Mizumori, Aya Sakura, Sayaka Kurara, and Yuri Hime take on Rian, Wakasukiyama, Hanako, Koguma, and Hazuki. I have pleaded in that video, if you want to check it out, for FWC to be in that tournament. Because if I'm not going to get Syuri in that tournament, I need Hazuki in that tournament. Please, 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 please. Thank you. Next up, you have a singles match. Mei Seira versus Emma Maishima. That should be a fun singles. A real good test for Emma there. If you're wondering, does the high speed title still exist? It is around Mei Seira's waist still. Thank you for asking. But yeah, it barely exists. Then, as you can see on your screen if you're watching on YouTube, Stardom. Final match for Syuri before she takes her hiatus. It will be Syuri going one-on-one with Rana Yagami. This is the second straight Korakuen with a big-time singles match for Rana Yagami. It's very clear they want her to succeed, and it's also very cool that Syuri is having her final match before her break against her top rookie. This should be very good. Um, Fascinated to see what or how far this match can go in terms of quality. Obviously, Rana Yagami and Syuri was really, really good last time around. Syuri should be able to do something close to the same. So, looking forward to seeing how Rana steps up here in this match. You then have another big time preview tag. It'll be Natsupoi, Seriano, Hana, and Saida taking on Saya Kamitani, Momo Watanabe, Natsuko Tora, and Ruaka. Cork and crowd should be rocking for this match. I'm looking forward to it. Momentum maybe finally swings the way of the champions here. Or not the champions, the tag champs, and Natsupoi was the challenger. My apologies. Then you have the Future Stardom Championship match. Hina defends against Akira Kuragane. Hey, listen, this is another successful defense for Hina. I don't think that's much of a debate. The real question is how good can Akira Kuragane look, right? Hina has had a good run of making her opponents look good. She's had a good run of making her opponents look strong. And I think this is the ultimate test. Akira Kuragane steps up into the biggest singles match of her career thus far. Can she perform? Can she deliver? The last time at Korakuen Hall, she lost to Rihanna and didn't get her title shot. Now she does in Korakuen Hall. I think this is a chance for it to be Akira Kuragane's best showing to date. And then we have the main event of the evening, Artist of Stardom Championship match. Starlight Kid, Miyu Amasaki, Azumi defend once again against the hate team of Konami, Marina, and Fukigen Death. I don't know why I feel this way. I think we're getting a title change. I do. I don't know why Konami, Rina, and Fukigen Death are the team to beat what is pretty much a super trio. But I just got a feeling. I do. Azumi just pinned Konami on the last go home show. Stardom has done this many times where whoever gets that pin is losing on that last go home show. Hey, I would be happy to be wrong, but listen, there's an agenda here. Rina could get a belt, and that to me is worth it. So I'm fascinated to see what this match looks like. Hey, listen, Fuki and Death's still a very good wrestler. Konami could turn it on for the big matches, and Rina is obviously great. And Neo Genesis Trio, they're awesome. So, yeah, my hot take is they're going to win the belts. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how we got here, but that is my thought process. And maybe it's a good way to get the belt off of them so you can defend them on more shows because they all have belts already. I don't know. I'm trying to make reason from something that maybe doesn't have full reason. So there's that. But hey, it's fine. Overall, I'm looking forward to the Corkin. I think it's going to be a fun show. Because listen, Neo Genesis main events always perform, and we'll have the 5-star Grand Prix participants by then. So maybe we can play to that a little bit. I'm wondering if they announced the full blocks or not beforehand. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. And I look forward to talking about that next week on the show. But that is it from the World Wondering. Now we head over to Marvelous because I talked about this match last week, aired on Friday. Boy, oh boy, was it great. Spark Rush. Syuri and Takumi Iroha. Yep, that is their official tag team name. They defeated Senka Akatsuki and Sora to successfully defend the AAAW tag team titles for the very first time. Yeah, this was awesome. I mean, do you really expect anything else from me at this point? It was just an awesome match. And at this stage of the game, I don't really know what else I can say when it comes to Syuri other than this is the best wrestler in the world. This is what she does. She was born to be this great. Clearly, she continues to be this great. And now she's doing it in tag team action. Why? Because she can. Her and Takumi are an awesome, awesome duo. They never cease to amaze me at how good they are, quite frankly, because they are two of the top singles wrestlers in the world, right? That can often be tough, but the way that this match was handled was quite simply great. Like, you put this together to be a match that was all about Senka and Sora surviving. It was all about Senka and Sora battling through, showing that they're battle tested and trying to compete with the likes of Syuri and Takumi. Senka was awesome. Sora was super good in the underdog role. Both Syuri and Takumi did not let up on her whatsoever, but she kept fighting back. The Senka finishing stretch was really great. But ultimately, it came down to that's enough of that. Takumi and Syuri absolutely taking her out, taking them out and getting the win. I recommend this match to anyone. It's the last great match I've watched in quite some time in terms of like, star ratings or whatever. I watched a lot of wrestling this week. This is the best Joshi match I saw from the past week. So go out anyway to check it out. Senka and Sora are very special. Syuri and Takumi are just incredible. But also on this show, it was revealed that the return match for Mio Momono will be none other against Mirai and Kazuna Tanaka. I mean, hell yeah. That match will take place on the 13th. So next weekend, Mio Momono returns to the ring in a marvelous ring. We don't know who her tag team partner will be yet, but Marigold and Marvelous head to the marvelous ring once again, and Mio Momono is right into it. You don't understand, folks. I have been wanting Mio Momono to be part of a Marigold, a something feud, because my dreams are simple. Mio Momono and Mayu Utani sharing the ring one day is back on the table. I don't know what day that will be, but I need it. I've always needed it. That is the biggest dream match I got right now because I've never seen them share a ring. They're two of the best wrestlers on the planet. But you know what? I'll take Mio Momono against all these. I'll take Mio Momono against Mirai. I'll take Mio Momono against Kazuna. I'll take Mio Momono against everyone. Mio Momono, Wrestler of the Year, back on track. She had an incredible first few months before she had to exit. So I cannot, cannot wait for this. Welcome back, Miyamoto. You have so dearly been missed. I can't wait to talk about that next week when we do a preview for that. That's 9 days away. Miyamoto's back, and she takes on Mirai Kazuna Tanaka. I'm hoping her partner is Yurika Oka, but I'm going to guess it's probably not. That'd be sick, though. That'd be sick. But yep, that is it. And then to continue the Marigold versus Marvelous feud. Takumi Iroha successfully defended the GHC Women's Championship against Victoria Yuzuki. Really solid match. Takumi was dominant as you'd expect. The match pretty much followed the exact recipe I was hoping for of Takumi dominance and some hope. Just some hope from Victoria Yuzuki. That's all I was looking for. That's all I was asking for. And I got it. I got it. Yuzuki was on top of her game. No slip ups, nothing. She was as good as could be in this match. She took a beating, like Takumi doesn't hold back, especially against wrestlers like Yuzuki, who still won, 1 year and however many months into her career at this point, 1 year and like 9 months or so. She doesn't hold back. But that's kind of the beauty of the match, and that's kind of the beauty of why I was so excited for this match, was seeing how Yuzuki could fight through. She had some nice surprise, shock, hopeful spots, the rolling arrow didn't work out, but they fought through. The rolling arrow is a tough move to do to begin with. She was able to reverse the running three one time, which was a pretty big deal, before ultimately getting caught with a running three to end the match. The first successful defense for Takumi Iroha, and now we know that at the July 16th Korakuen Hall show, it will be Takumi Iroha, Utami Hayashishita double title match. They made it as official as could after the match. When Utami showed up, went face to face, presented her with the Marigold World title. Takumi had the GHC on her shoulder. Looks like we are well on our way to that. Utami talked about wanting to win the GHC championship in a Tokyo Sports interview. So as far as I'm concerned, we're full steam ahead. That is a double title match, a fascinating double title match, one that the world should be watching on the 16th. But hey, good job for Victoria Yuzuki. She continues to grow. And speaking of Victoria Yuzuki, this weekend she will not be on the Marigold shows. Instead, she's headed to Sukeban here in Los Angeles, here in the United States, as will Rea Seto and as will Misa Matsui. Both of them heading to the U.S. to be part of Sukeban. Victoria Yuzuki will team with Commander Nakajima. So yeah, that's right. Victoria Yuzuki and Arisa Nakajima teaming up. They'll take on, I believe, you and Supersonic, who's Natsuki Tayo. So that's pretty insane that in the year 2025, Victoria Yuzuki is going to be able to have said she faced Momo Nakanishi and Natsuki Tayo, two high-speed legends, two legends, period. That's incredible. That's incredible considering both of them have been retired for years. So that's pretty cool. And on the other side, Countess Rea Seto. She joins the fray. This seems kind of built for her, the way she loves JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, going to the Anime Expo. That's where this show's happening. I don't know. She just seems like this kind of be a dream for her. She's taking over the role that Aono used to have, the Countess gimmick. She will be going by Countess Rea Seto. And then I know Misa Matsui will also be having a match as well as part of a new faction. I think it was announced on Instagram. She'll be part of the Tokyo Dolls, I believe. So they're all Rea Seto and Victoria Yuzuki in the same faction, the Dangerous Liaisons. But that's that. That is that. Cool for them. US experience, and they'll be back the week after. They already announced those cards. So wishing all three of them the best. The Sukeban show, I think, will be airing on TikTok. So if we get to check that out, I'll definitely be reviewing it next week. Syuri also takes on Mayu Kihi in the main event for the Sukeban World title. So should be a fun match there as well. This weekend, Marigold had one show, just one show. So we'll make it easy here. The one show was a big one, not because of Koki Amare versus Megaton versus Syuri Yamaoka, but it's because we decided the final two participants in the Dream Star Grand Prix. And that, of course, was decided in the main event. So before we get there, let's talk about the undercard. Koki Amare versus Megaton versus Syuri Yamaoka. Syuri Yamaoka got the win. Syuri Yamaoka, I could sing the praises of every single week, and I'm going to because it's my show at the end of the day. She continues to show signs of growth each and every match. Her ability to learn is something that I don't think we should take for granted. She was the best wrestler in this match. I don't think it's much of a question. Her dislike for fun was pretty entertaining, and ultimately she got the win, pinning Megaton. Listen, Syuri Yamaoka is going to have a hell of a Dream Star run. If you're not locked in now, you're going to be locked in by the end of the tournament. I'm telling you now, she is not only going to have a great tournament, she has a legitimate chance to be an MVP. If all goes well, if the skill set continues to rise, if the matches make sense, I do think she can do that because she's a very, very talented rookie. but she is a super rookie for a reason. There's a reason that for me, in the highest of regard, it's Senka and Syuri, and then everyone else. Listen, Shino's amazing. Shino's not on every show. I can't put her in that field right now. But those two are the cream of the crop. And I'm excited to see what Syuri does with 7 big time singles matches. You then had probably the best match on the show, the Tanahashi Chikagoto and Kazuna Tanaka taking on Miku, Aono, Mai Sakurai, and Chen Yoda. Chen Yoda, welcome back to the shows. This was just really good. Like, it was just really good. I say it every week, but you are you are guaranteed a great tag or trios match on every Marigold show at this point, and this was no different. Yeah, I think when you watch a match like this, you look to see who stands out. Um, I think everyone had their moment to shine, quite frankly. Kazuna's really just growing more and more as a wrestler. Chikagoto, I feel like, has reached a point in her career where she's made herself an undeniable future champion. I don't know if that's soon. I don't know if that's a few years down the line, but Chikagoto needs to be the United National Champion eventually. Like, that belt is built for her and what she's become. She had a great showing here. Miku Ano, obviously, always fantastic. She's super, super strong heading into the Dream Star Grand Prix. We'll be previewing that in a few weeks' time here. Right now, she feels like the favorite, and rightfully so. And yeah, Tommy was great, Mai was great, Janyota was great. Yeah, just super, super fun trios match. Well worth the time if you have it. Yeah, Mayu Utani, Victoria Yuzuki, and Mirai taking on Darkness Revolution, Chiaki Misa Matsui, and Nagisa Nozaki. I think part of the lead up to this was how much is Mayu going to wrestle? Obviously, I talked about last week. Mayu has a broken rib, and she wrestled. So that was step one. She was not in the match a lot, but she did get active in there. Misa Matsui punched her right in the rib and was so proud of it. So that was a funny little bit. But overall, she kind of kept out of the way for the most part. Let Mirai and Victoria Yuzuki do most of the work. But hey, they still got the win. The Darkness Revolution momentum now gone. They had won every match since Megaton had left, so I thought that was pretty notable. But a fun trios match as well. Obviously, Mayu a bit limited, but hey, take your time, Mayu. We just need you for the Dream Star. Limited to a point where she just didn't tag in a lot, but she did some offense. She did some cool stuff. Overall, like I said, a fun trios match. But let's get to the gauntlets. The gauntlets are the main point of this conversation here today, the main review point here for Marigold. So the first gauntlet was Nao Shikawa, Yuki Minami, Yuki Yamazaki, and Rea Seto. The second was Hummingbird, Kimono Minami, Nagisa Tachibana, and Senka Akatsuki. So the first one went as followed. Nao Shikawa and Yuki Minami started the match and went to a 5-minute draw, eliminating both competitors. I think for many, probably a big shock that now Ishikawa may have missed it. But hey, I always felt Rea Seto just had to be the one. And that was one way to get now Ishikawa out. Fascinated to see where she goes next. But hey, that's how it went. Yuki Minami had new gear, and I don't think their part of the match. I think their part of the match was probably the weakest of both gauntlets. But they also had to go the longest, so that's neither here nor there. The closing stretch between Rea Seto and Yuki Yamazaki was really solid. The Black Diamond versus the Mad Dog. Yuki Yamazaki being literally a win away from the Dream Star in like her like her 5th match. Pretty insane, pretty awesome. But Rea Seto got the win with the mutilation move, the Brian Danielson one. Yeah, you know what I mean. She made Yuki Yamazaki tap out to get the win and secure her spot in the Dream Star Grand Prix. So obviously, congratulations to Rea Seto, but the better of the two um, gauntlet matches I thought was the second one, and that was when Kamo Minami and Nagisa Tachibana started it off. I thought they had some solid work, but Kamo Minami ultimately got the win to advance, and that's when Senka made her way to the ring and she rolled through the rest of the competition. Senka and Komomo really had some good showings. I thought Komomo might have even outshined Senka a little bit. But hey, that's okay because I thought Senka shined, especially against Hummingbird. But Kamo Minami came oh so close to getting Senka out. Some good near falls, but in the end, Senka's shoot pin finish was too much for both challengers in the end. Then that's when Hummingbird stepped in. She was on the attack from the get go. Really, one of the best showings from Hummingbird I have seen. Super, super showing from her, quite honestly. Like, this is the most moves she's ever done. This is the most wrestling she's ever done. I quite enjoyed it, but in the end, it was undeniable. Senka took her out. Senka won. Senka confirmed her spot in the Dream Star Grand Prix, and that completed the 16 wrestler field for the tournament. Marvelous is represented by their own super rookie. Senka will join the field. Rea Seto joins the field as well. If you're going to watch the gauntlets, I recommend the second over the first, but I recommend both because there's a lot of young up and coming wrestlers really trying to showcase what they're all about. And I thought that Senka and Rea Seto were the deserving two, and I think that they made the right choice there. This weekend, Marigold is in Miku Ano's hometown on Saturday, so that's pretty cool, obviously. Nagisa Tachibana will have to miss this show, so wishing her the best. I believe she's dealing with some sort of sickness. So the show is as followed. You'll have Nao Ishikawa versus Hummingbird versus Megaton in the opening three-way match. Yuki Minami and Koki Amare team up. They'll face Johnny Robbie and Amira. So Johnny Robbie and Amira, who are over with Marvelous right now. I believe they've also wrestled in where Noah for sure. I don't know. I know they're on tour with them. Where else have they wrestled? Yeah, they wrestled Sendai, or Johnny Robbie did at least. And Amira did too. So now they'll take their talents to Marigold. So that's pretty cool with Victoria Yuzuki, Misa Matsui, and Rea Seto all missing the show. These two get to step in and it should be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing their uh, involvement with Marigold this weekend. Next up, you have Muraisaku versus Nagisa Nozaki and Chiaki. This is a former tag title match right here, former Twin Star Championship match. It's the one that Nozaki and Chiaki actually won the belts in. So that's a fascinating semi-main event. You have a preview of the future as well. Kamo Minami, Kazuna Tanaka, they team up to face Syuri Yamaoka and Yuki Yamazaki. That's a fascinating match. I'm really looking forward to that one. And Miku Ano's homecoming match, about as good as you can get. Miku Ano teams with Mayu Iwatani for the very first time. They'll take on Marigold World Champion Utami Hayashishita and Chika Goto. So that should be a really fun main event there. Really fun show, top to bottom, I quite think. And then on Sunday, as part of the Burning Desire tour, we roll on. The show will feature singles matches as Hummingbird goes one-on-one with Amira. Now Chicago goes one-on-one with Johnny Robbie. Kazuna Tanaka teams with Megaton to take on Nagisa Nozaki and Chiaki. In the semi-main event, it'll be Miku Aono and Koki Amare taking on Syuri Yamaoka and Chika Goto. Another fascinating tag team match. Wondering who gets pinned there, or do they go to a draw? That's going to be a fascinating one. It also kind of serves as a Dream Star preview. And then in your main event, it'll be Mayu Utani, Utami Hayashishita, and Kamo Minami taking on Mai Sakurai, Mirai, and Yuka Yamazaki. That should be a great one as well. So plenty of great action coming your way this weekend from Stardom, from Marigold. Tons of fun stuff because, like I said, this is the last weekend we're really calm and not really at all because Stardom's show is a Korakuen after all. But this was the last episode of Being Calm, and that's okay because we love when Joshi is going. We love when Joshi's at its top level, and I'm super duper excited to see everything that unfolds. Big time shows coming up, big time tournaments coming up. This is the best time to be a Joshi fan in the world. This year has really been the best time to be a Joshi fan. But I thank you all for listening, bearing with me as I deal with my sickness. I hope I don't sound that bad. I think I do, but I appreciate you all for the continued support. Please, if you're on the YouTube channel, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you're on the podcast feed, thank you so much for continuing to listen to this show. Thank you to everyone that continues to listen to the show. Next week, Beginner's Guide to Marigold will be up on the channel, assuming my sickness goes away and doesn't get worse. Looking forward to getting that out. We also have plenty of other things planned, so keep an eye out for that. Thank you, everyone, for listening. I greatly appreciate it. Until next time, this was the 5-Star Joshi Show. This was Scott E. So long. See you later. Enjoy the holiday weekend and enjoy the summer of Joshi. Bye-bye.